To all the religious people who are so outraged by the Supreme Court's decision to recognize gay marriage that you're presenting yourself as constitutional scholars, stop it. You are not constitutional scholars. Presenting yourself as one is a lie, or at least bearing false witness about yourself and your own competence. God says not to lie, or not to bear false witness. To all the religious people who were so outraged by the Supreme Court's decision to recognize gay marriage that you were throwing around labels and name calling, stop it. Jesus says not to get angry. It is a sin. Jesus says also not to call people names. That makes a person worthy of hellfire. To all the religious people out there who are so outraged by the Supreme Court's decision to recognize gay marriage that you are hurling insults at the president or the Chief Justice or anyone else in government, stop it. St. Paul and St. Peter say to respect government and rulers. The parable of the Good Samaritan told by Jesus makes one thing clear. The person you hate the most, Jews hated Samaritans, the person you hate the most is your neighbor, and that's the person you have to love. And you were told over and over what love looks like. It is giving to those who can never repay you. It is being patient, being kind, not keeping track of wrongs, not seeking revenge. That is how you're supposed to treat people you hate. To all the religious people who are so outraged by the Supreme Court's decision to recognize gay marriage, that you are suddenly experts on history and ancient civilizations and declaring that every civilization that embraced homosexuality has been destroyed, stop it. You are not historians. Every civilization declines and falls. Everything dies. The U.S. will someday no longer exist as it has, but it will be from a variety of reasons, just like every other civilization. To present it as a result of homosexuality shows that you do not have the presence of mind to consider the nuance of why civilizations rise and fall. And since you clearly do not understand what you're talking about, you should just stop talking. As James the Just says, if you say that you're religious but you do not control your own tongue, you're deceiving yourselves. I was a history professor for 13 years. I taught Constitution and U.S. government as well. I've been ordained clergy for 16 years. The only thing I will claim to be an expert on is my own folly and my own sense of right and wrong. My greatest follies have been when I've tried to determine for others what they should consider to be right or wrong. Jesus does not tell me to fix others. He actually tells me not to. He tells me to take the giant plank of wood out of my own eye before I try to remove the splinter from the eye of another. Fixing me is a full-time job. I don't have time to fix others. I'm not God. I'm not Jesus, so I will leave the judging and the punishment to them. My authority stops at the tip of my own nose, or as I like to joke, you're God's problem now, as I go about my happy way, minding my own business. And you can print that in your Bible because it's the gospel truth. Yours truly, the Preacher.